Grocery prices have jumped, and there's no end in sight. Trump. Check this out from NPR. Jill sent this to me and had to chuckle because initially I discounted it. She goes, just read the article. I said, okay. Anyway, so here we got Scott Horsley, who must be hoarse from all his propaganda because he writes for NPR, who's mad because Trump is no longer funding NPR. Or is that PBS? I don't know what the hell it is. They shouldn't fund any of them. What's the item? Groceries. How the prices changed since 2020. So we're up. The grocery prices are up 29% since February 2020. Okay, I don't argue that at all. 29% since February 2020. So what has the actual median household done since that time? So the median household income, and this right here, by the way, is going to be till right here. We're going to come down here. Till we're going to go back to the end of right there, 27%. So from basically February 2020 to the end of 2024 is 27% increase in groceries. Nominal income has increased by 23%. So we've reduced our spending power by 4 percentage points, if that makes sense. So if what used to cost $1 now costs $1.29, our income has gone from $1 to $1.23. So we have lost relative to the price of groceries. I don't think anyone would deny that, frankly. Very interesting. So let's keep going here. So that is a deal. It's an issue. In fact, Trump even said that's one of the reasons he won for sure. So we got to get this under control. But check this out. Why have the prices gone up? Supply chains, Russia. Let's see. We had avian flu, Trump's tariffs, blah, 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 blah. Right. In fact, Trump's tariffs are pushed up the price of imported goods like bananas and coffee. Interesting. So I want to talk about that. Here we have Sheila Fields. Her and her husband are retired nurses. And the hunt for affordable food has almost become a full-time job. We went to 3 different stores here in town in Galveston, Texas, and we bought only what we could at a really good sale. So we got no meat at all because it's just too high. Really? You didn't buy any meat at all? Interesting. And here we can see the price of beef is up 8.34% between 2024 and 2025. All right, in the year 2024, so you can see right there. In fact, you can see the price of beef right there in 2025. So that's not good. I'm not sure I'd not buy beef, but especially if I'm traveling to 3 different stores, but be it as it may, because, beef is good for you. Fields and her husband are both retired nurses, and they're worried about outliving their savings. It seems you're retired nurses, and you didn't buy any beef. Okay, but I get it. We're not going hungry. We just have anxiety over this. Oh, that's where they want to get you. The media wants to get you. And anxiety about our kids and grandkids. We've been through a lot of recessions, and this is the scaredest we've ever been. Oh, my goodness. I wonder if Sarah Fields, I bet she's a big lib. I don't know. I don't know anything about her. Actually, I do a little bit. I looked up their property address in Galveston, and she seems like a probably nice lady, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's just you're letting the fearmongers win, Sarah Fields. Stop. Why would you not buy beef? Beef is good for you. Anyway, be it as it may, you're not going to run out of money. Look, I don't know. Maybe they're freaking living in mass amounts of debt. I have no idea. But she seems like a good lady. She doesn't live, I could tell, in a rich freaking McMansion or anything like that. Like some of these media will interview Joe Schmo from freaking Greenwich, Connecticut. And she says, I'm running out of money. I find it sad that people are so just devastated. Like, I can't, I'm so anxious. It's sad. Let's see. Fields and her husband are in good company. A survey by the Associated Press found the cost of groceries has become a major source of stress for over half of Americans, 100%, outpacing rent, healthcare, and student debt. Here we got a lady named Rebecca White who works at a bank in Cincinnati, and her paycheck has not kept pace with her rising grocery bill, 100%. It has not. I mean, it's just there's no two ways around it. It has not. Is as devastating as what the media will say? No, but it has not kept pace, man. She tries to stick to cheaper meals, which isn't always healthy. Sometimes I'll skip breakfast. You don't need breakfast anyway, Rebecca White, and then just have lunch and dinner. That's what you should do. Let's see. John Kroger, supermarket chain, says the stress is apparent as shoppers make smaller, more frequent trips to the store, use more coupons, and opt for cheaper labels. That's good. That's not a bad thing to not buy so fancy stuff. Let's see. The double-digit price hikes triggered by the pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine comes as a shock after decades of relatively stable grocery prices. So let's take a look. Do we actually have relatively stable grocery prices? Here's beef and veal. And you can see You should be right there. I don't know if you can see this. Price for beef, you can see right there. The inflation in 2020 was 9.64, but in 2014 it's 12.07. In 2015 it's 7.14. In 2011 under Obama is 10.18. Yeah, interesting. We had a decline in 2016, and when Trump got in, look at that. Trump's in -1, 1.4, 1.5, and then 9.64. Obama from here, we'll go to 2008, 4, down 1, up 3, up 10, up 6, up 2, up 12, up 7. So the price of beef went sky high compared to what it did under Trump. That's just a fact. You can argue that, but you'd be wrong. So let's go back here to, I'm going to show you groceries as a whole. So when I hear this, I don't want to laugh because I do know people are scared, but I get it. I find it very ironic how the freaking media wants to play this because it's evil, dude. Evil. So here's price inflation for food since 1967. All right, so here's, let's see, go back to Obama right there, 1.88. 0.79, 3.58, 2.55. Let's see, what's this one? 2.31, 1.8 in 2017. Then we got 2017 under Trump, and we got 0.88, 1.4, 1.84, and 3.34. So the price of food was way lower under Trump than it was Obama. Then we got Sniffy Joe, 9.58, 3.82, 5.66, and then it went down his last year of presidency, and then Trump is still at 2.26. Interesting. So you can see we don't see a skyrocketing price under Trump that media is proclaiming. That does not mean there's not issues, and we're going to go see what one the issue is, because NPR is going to use this right here. Trump has repeatedly said shoppers' frustration at grocery prices helped put him back in the White House. 100%. Despite Trump's promise to lower prices, the president's crackdown on illegal immigration, including targeting people who pick and process our food. Who's going to pick the cotton? Who's going to pick the cotton? Could add to upward pressure on prices. Trump's tariffs are also contributing to higher prices for imported staples like bananas and coffee. Okay, let's take a look. I said, why has coffee prices been challenging so far? This is from Coffee Intelligence right here. There's a coffee bean. Coffee prices hit a record $4.4 a pound in early 2025 and have remained volatile since. Specialty coffee faces an identity crisis as Gen Z consumers trade third wave for customization. Private equity and consolidation are reshaping the sector. Interesting. But then we have severe droughts and erratic faint rainfall in Brazil and Vietnam have triggered a supply crunch. Excuse me. So that's from Trump's tariffs, huh? While weather predictability has destabilized that entire supply chain, both of which continue to pressure the coffee sector. Interesting. The ripple effects of high prices have touched every link in the supply chain. Interesting. And then adding insult to injury are recent U.S. tariffs of 10%, a sweeping 10% on coffee imports from major producers like Brazil, Ethiopia, and Colombia. Interesting. So we have a massive supply shock right here. Severe droughts and coffee prices surged to 47-year highs, reshaping the industry. Is that what? That was in 2024, before Trump was even in office. So Trump's tariffs are causing that? Only fools and liars would say that. It's silly. I mean, we have so much evidence of this if you just look at the history of price shocks. And I did a video on this a couple weeks ago. Maybe I'll talk about it tonight in the live stream. The shocks for scarcity and whatnot is nothing to do with tariffs. It's always to do with weather, always to do with commies taking over, price controls. It's never to do with tariffs. A little bit. But at the end of the day, what causes these shocks and makes things more expensive is massive changes in weather, droughts, and things of that nature, and war. That's what causes it. So, yeah, at the end of the day, we want some rain in Brazil. Absolutely. The 10% tariff that Trump is causing, put on there, is not the reason for coffee increases. To think that is just to be stupid, especially when we have evidence right here. Coffee prices surged to 47-year highs. Oh, Dateline, November 2024. All right, God bless. Love your thoughts. We'll see you.